between the city and the county.
We have a forum,
in
sir.
an economic
I know.
development decision,
And
which was
Adam's charging us by the hour here, so we got to get going.
And since then, the three counties up there
He's a good man.
hired him as their full-time economic development director.
Great deal for him.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, welcome everybody to the Sarpy County and City's Wastewater Agency. Today's Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. It's 4:02 p.m. Copy of the Nebraska Opens Meeting Act is on the north wall of the boardroom. Anybody's welcome to speak on any topic. Just come up and introduce yourself and give us your name and address. In attendance today, we have the Mayor of Springfield, Robert Roseland, the Mayor of La Vista, Douglas Kindig, the Mayor of Papillion, David Black. I'm Don Kelly, Sarpy County Commissioner, and right now we have two members absent. Have we heard from them?
I haven't heard.
Okay, well, we'll just assume they're not going to make it today. If you haven't silenced your cell phone, like me, please do, and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any comments from the, also in attendance is Mayor Mike Evans from Gretna and Mayor Rusty Hike from Bellevue. So we have a full quorum here today. Any announcements from the chair, or the board, I mean?
No, now that Valdere's and Gretna is there, I can't talk bad about them, so.
I was going to say, I was wondering when we were going to put the streetcar in across the
No more Bellevue jokes, okay? No. Rusty, you have anything? No. Okay, let's go ahead and get right into the staff updates and reports, starting with our administrator, Dan Hoynes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, member mayors. I'll start off today by giving you an update on the WIFIA loan modification process. Pleased to report that about 24 hours ago, they signed off on all of our modifications. We've supplied them all of the documentation, answered all of their questions, and they've accepted it. And WIFIA, are going to begin processing the actual loan modification documents. They do that when they send those to us. Then the agency staff will coordinate with the county staff to review those modified loan documents, gain agreement with the county staff for eventual submission to this board and the county board to modify those loan documents. Again, by way of recollection or just recall, there's three things that we asked for in there. One of them is to actually allow us to be reimbursed for the Springfield decommissioning costs. Even though we had it in there, it was a box we needed to check. They have approved that. To allow for the decommissioning costs for the Sarpy County line, and to actually begin the design and permitting for all of Phase 1B, the blue lines, and Phase 2, the green lines on the master plan. So once we get that approved by the agency board and the county board, then we can begin to do the actual formal design of those green and blue lines. And so been punching pause, but I think we're really, really close. I'll pause there and answer any question you may have on that. We've waited quite a while on that. Okay, if there are none, I did provide for you in my written report that we did close out our initial SRF loan. It is final, making our payments on it. No more draws. Everything's been signed off on, audited, and we're all good there. One other thing on the WIFIA loan modification too, really important. Talked about it, but I don't think I can keep reminding you enough that our loan was for $45 million. We are projecting upon completion of Phase 1A and all of the modifications that our projected borrow will be south of $33 million. And so it is going to be our recommendation, unless we receive direction, that we close that loan out at $33 million. It's going to take a while to do that, but we feel like we're in pretty good shape to do that. And we continue, Mark up here too in a few minutes, to diligently work on the annual audit. It's a kind of electronic process, which is kind of neat to watch this year, but we are on schedule to get the draft completed to staff administrators by November 3rd for consideration and approval by this board, the first meeting in December, which Generally is the second Wednesday, I think. But I'll pause there and answer any questions you may have, Mr. Chair, Mayors.
No. Thank you. Project Engineer Jeff Thompson.
Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. Not a lot to report on the construction side of things. Hawkins is wrapping up the finishing touches on the modifications to the facilities down at the Springfield Wastewater Treatment Plant facility. Got a lot of the debris picked up and hauled out, and they're starting to turn dirt and disc everything to get it seeded or final seeded and stabilized. I expect here in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, Jacob will be moving into that facility and getting all of the SCADA systems set up for his remote operations there at that facility. So it's looking really good. If you haven't had a chance to drive by and take a look at it, I encourage you to do so. Other work items that I've been working on the last month, some standard operating procedures for field personnel, as well as some internal things administratively. Been working predominantly on a lot of the WIFIA loan modifications, scope modifications, and fielding questions and getting data and information compiled and back to the team there to try to get that thing off dead center and get it moving forward. So as Dan said, I'm really pleased to report that they've signed off on their environmental document and are moving everything else forward. So providing audit support for Mark, a lot of boxes that he's got to check, a lot of detail that they're asking for in the background, and a lot of that's associated with the construction. So been helping Mark facilitate getting all that information provided. Had a couple of development plats come in for the city of Springfield. Been reviewing those, providing feedback and comments from an agency perspective there, but are starting to see some development come through with the commissioning of the system. So that's good news as well. As you're well aware, Chairman Kelly, the Platteview Road corridor project is underway. We've been coordinating with HDR on that and their roadway team because some of their plans have some conflicts with the sewer agency's newly installed infrastructure, so we're trying to work through the logistics associated with some of that. Just processing flow data and billings for the months. And then also working on some coordination with Gemini. That new facility that they are building right now off of Cape Hart and Highway 50 is a new model for them. So they've got a different type of cooling system. As part of that cooling system, they are going to be discharging less frequently, but they will be having to discharge to the sanitary sewer system. And the chemistry associated with that has a glycol chemical in it to keep it from freezing and evaporating, but they will have to discharge that to the sanitary sewer system a couple times a year. And so we've been coordinating with the city of Omaha, Sarpy County, because that comes through their line, through the agency's line ultimately. But Omaha has to treat that water. We just want to make sure that the chemistry that they're providing isn't going to upset the chemistry of the biological systems that they have at the wastewater treatment plant facility. So with that, I will answer any questions you might have.
Couple of quick clarifications. If I remember right, when we took that tour down there that one time on where his office is going to be and stuff, was there some concern that with them thick cinder block walls on internet reception and stuff? Or am I not thinking properly?
No, we've actually pulled fiber into the facility, so everything's going to be hardwired, so we won't have to rely on wireless networking in relationship to the internet service. So
I think that's a question.
Because the question I had was, is there Wi-Fi service down there, and there really isn't, so to speak. Even though there's a pretty significant business to the north, so they just pulled the fiber, so it's connected. Yeah,
the facilities are our SCADA system from the electrical building at Springfield is monitored through the cellular network, so they do send that to the cloud, then through the internet system back, to our applications and our SCADA remotely. So,
and then I think there was a question on the decommission of the county lines that if we could cap them or if they would have to be filled. Have we gotten a final answer on that?
Yes, sir. Kevin Ballantyne with Sarpy County did provide me with some correspondence between him and the NDOT that they will allow us to abandon that in place. So we will have to remove the air release structures, but leave the rest of the piping in place, which significantly reduced the cost of the removal there. So I think it was about 1.6 million originally, and I think the leaving it in place but removing just the structures and the lift station component to the extent we needed to was about 375 or 400,000 ish around there. So trying to save where we can.
They did caveat, though, that if
If in the future
right
they have
away
to,
ever had to be widened for
Yeah.
roads, then we'd be responsible to remove it. But I don't think that's going to happen in our lifetime. So.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, they have plans for widening 370 to 6 lanes, and that's been in the plans for I don't know how many years, and it still wouldn't even encroach on the right of way that they currently have through there. So I think it's a safe bet for the agency.
All right. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, I guess we're up to the financial dashboard with Mark Setout, Agency Treasurer. Mark.
Good afternoon. I'm Mark Setout, Agency Treasurer. And this is the agency's monthly financial dashboard report for July 2025. Just a few things to note here, as July is the first month in the new fiscal year. We did have relatively significant connection fee revenue invoiced in July. The total was the $1.2 million shown there, which represents almost a 136% of our budgeted connection fees for the year. So we're off to a good start there. The big drivers were the Sterling Chase development in Gretna and R&R Commerce Park South and Sarpy West Industrial. Next item to note is the flow rate revenue. We received $56,806 in July. That is roughly 7% of the budgeted amounts for flow rate for the year. So 1 month in, we are slightly below budget on those revenues, as each month should be around 8.33% for us to stay on budget. However, we are 1 month in arrears with billing. So we're billing June flows in July that are still on the previous year's rates. So we're billing that June usage in July. And as we continue on, we think we believe that's going to level off as the year progresses. And we should see some increases maybe in the back half of the year with Oakleaf and around the Springfield area as growth continues. Moving on to expenses. Expenses were low for the month compared to budget. We did prioritize getting last year's expenses in before the end of the year cutoff, so we didn't have any carryover there. Just really limited spend in that first month of the fiscal year is all I have to report there. The loan balances, nothing major there. We continue to draw on the WIFIA loan. And we have scheduled debt service payments for the 2 SRF loans that will happen in December. Pilot funds. We are listing the pilot funds that we invoiced out in July on the column on the left side there under the pilot funds. These invoices are still outstanding but not past due. So what that means is that we've recognized the revenue, but it's not included on the cash on hand balance that's down below. So cash on hand is at $7.4 million for the period. That's down slightly from the $7.9 million from last month. Nothing out of the ordinary there. We have paid for the Springfield decommissioning project without the WIFIA reimbursements, which has been close to $800,000 so far. my esteemed colleague there, Mr. Thompson, did inform us that the WIFIA team will add the decommissioning to the WIFIA scope modification, so that's good. We will be able to get that reimbursed in the coming months. With that and other revenues and reimbursements, my cash forecast shows we should be back up around $10 million cash on hand before the end of the quarter. So that's all that I have today. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Just a minor one. It's not a big dollar, but the $30,000 in miscellaneous income, it's not budgeted, but it is twice the amount of interest, and it's as much as somebody's flow revenue. So I'm just curious what that is.
That's from Gemini.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's their. What is the Gemini payment that we got for 33? Is that for?
O&M. Gemini's O&M. Yeah.
For the O&M charge is what that's for.
Thanks.
Yep.
You mentioned the R&R South. That's in Sarpy? I thought that was Papillion.
That's Papillion.
It shows Sarpy on the.
It was received from Sarpy County.
Oh, there might have been one. Well, no, I think that's all in Papillion.
Yeah, it's Sarpy County's line, your line.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it's the line.
Yeah.
City of Papillion zoning jurisdiction.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
And then, Mark, I think Mayor Black had asked that if we could have a column added that showed the last year's totals.
Right.
So that we could kind of just see
Same period to same
actual, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you could add a third column in front of actual year to date and put, the historical same period 2024.
Okay.
And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the monthly total and then roll that forward.
Just so we can kind
Okay.
of track and see that, there's no anomalies or anything that kind of stands out as a trend breaker or something like that.
Certainly.
That'd be
Yep,
great.
I can add that. No problem.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I'll spend some of my bank's money because that's where a big part of this is. Now that you've gotten the WIFIA loan moving forward and stuff, are you going to be willing now then to invest some of this money in a higher rate account?
That is definitely something that we are reviewing and discussing internally as the agency, and that is something that we had intended on doing once we received some of the cash that we had outstanding.
I mean, I think it's known that there's a very good chance that the feds could drop a quarter of a point here, which is going to lower that rate. From an agency point of view, I want to see you guys take advantage of that. Please don't tell Tom Kelly that I'm giving you that suggestion, but it is the smart thing to do.
It is. The interest rate is attractive, and the 7-month CD that we were looking at is not a long time to have that money held up. So It is definitely advantageous for
Have a
us.
discussion with someone and just,
Yep.
before it drops too much.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mark.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, we got 2 items on the consent agenda. Unless anyone wants to see it moved to the regular agenda, I'll take a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Bellevue, second by Springfield. Any discussion? Please vote.
7,000.
You gotta vote there.
Mayor Kindig, are you able to vote?
1 second. Okay. No, it's okay.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, on the regular agenda, item 6 is resolution 21, appointing legal counsel and authorizing execution of engagement letter with Coley Jensen, PCLLO, Dan Hoynes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, member mayors. On May 28th, this body approved an interim agreement with Coley Jensen to retain the services of Adam, who's been our ongoing legal counsel for general legal matters, basically from the beginning, I think 2018. It's when they came on board. Adam has served in that role at the same hourly rate he did with Hush Blackwell. Through this negotiation, he has agreed to keep that rate the same. So approval of this contract will keep Adam's rate the same, and it will add, it has rates for a couple of other attorneys that will help him, and I think most importantly, paralegals that are in there that he's got more access to than he had at his previous employment. And so the understanding, and in fact it's in the contract, is that when it's appropriate and necessary, he's going to be using the paralegals and interns to do some of these entry-level type of things. But I would encourage and respectfully request you approve this. It's a 3-year agreement. And it has 3 to 5% increases, but there's a caveat in there. That's by mutual agreement. So I'll come back to you next July and say that I agree with this or I don't agree with it, but we'll make that very transparent. And I would ask that you approve it. Adam's done a good job, very dependable. This weekend I have an occasion, once in a while I butt dial people. Some of you know that. But Adam called me Saturday afternoon. He said, "Hey, do you need something here?" You called me. And I said, "Well, I'm actually cutting wood." But that's how responsive Adam is to the needs of the agency. On a Saturday afternoon, he's going to return your call. And I think that's appreciated, and look forward to working with him into the near future. So would ask for your approval. I'll answer any questions. You have an Adams here and can answer any questions also.
Questions for Dan or Adam? Motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Springfield, second by LaVista. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Item 7 is Resolution 22, granting a boundary change request under the agency's growth management plan within the agency's jurisdiction portions of the Bellevue Entertainment District. Dan Hoynes, Agency Administrator.
Yeah, thank you. And I would defer this to Project Engineer Thompson. I worked with Administrator Risto to kind of get the high level, but Jeff worked with the Public Works folks in Bellevue, and he'll give you the details of the request. So, Jeff?
Thanks, Dan. Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, Jeff Thompson again, project engineer for the agency. This request, as you may recall, the city of Bellevue had recently approved and announced a water park in their jurisdiction. This area was platted by the city of Bellevue. The visual that you see before you here, the hatched area is portions of 2 commercial development lots that were not included in the agency's boundary. The ridge line actually cuts them 2 parcels and 2 bisects it east and west. So the request was to add additional area that's hatched here, which is, I believe, 8-9 acres-ish to the agency's boundary, so that the full boundary of those 2 lots are included in the agency's boundary for sewer service. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Gretna, got it. Motion by Papillion, second by Gretna. Any further discussion or questions? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, item 8 is Resolution 23, approving equipment purchases. Jeff Thompson, Agent C, Project Engineer.
Chairman Kelly, agency member bears, again, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. This request is for 2 pieces of equipment that were included in the original annual budget for the agency. It's a valve exercising machine and a UTV to transport that valve exercising machine into the agricultural fields and whatnot that we have to exercise over the course of time. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is it budgeted?
Yes, sir. Budgeted for. Yep. 100%.
Yep.
Just a couple comments. Mayor Kindig and I went out into the field to turn some valves.
No, you didn't.
Didn't go real well. Did it?
No, there could have been a workman's comp claim on Commissioner Kelly. I was smart enough not to do it. this piece of equipment is needed. I think we learned very quickly.
Yeah, and to get to the some of the valves that are in pretty kind of remote areas, you probably, even though we have pickup trucks, you wouldn't want to drive the pickup trucks. So the ATV will assist in getting the valve turning equipment out there so they can exercise that. And I assume we're going to do that in the non-crop months.
Yes, sir, we will. Yeah, we'll do what we can that's accessible during the non-crop or the crop months, but then when the crops come out, we'll get out there and get the rest of them exercised for sure. Yep.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns? Okay. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by LaVista, second by Bellevue. Any further comments? Please vote. There we go.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, item 9 is Resolution 24, granting a growth management plan exception for Lot 2, Cane Crest Replat 1, Jeff Thompson, Agency Project Engineer.
Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, again, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. This is probably one of the most straightforward exception requests that you'll see come from Sarpy County. It was a lot that was previously platted prior to the agency's formation. Therefore, they're basically grandfathered in to move forward with their development as planned under the previous rules and regulations without cost for the agency's sewer connections, with the one caveat that if they ever do elect to connect to the agency system for use, they would have to pay the fee at that time. With that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No questions.
Motion to approve.
Second. Hike.
Motion by Papillion, second by Bellevue. Any further comments or questions? Okay, then, as soon as you can, please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, the last item on the agenda is item 10, Resolution 25, approving the encroachment agreement for Lot 7, Buffalo Creek Industrial, Jeff Thompson, project engineer.
Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. As you may recall, at our last board meeting, we had something that was a similar request. It was for an amendment to an easement that was dedicated to the agency for future infrastructure in an industrial development that was approved within Gretna's jurisdiction. They have another lot owner that would like to build on the particular lot that you're seeing here. In doing so, their septic tank is going to be located very close to the facility, but the lateral fields, because of soil conditions, needs to be located further away. To get it far enough away, they have to cross the agency's easement with their sewer piping line from their septic tank to the lateral fields. This agreement would allow them to do that, but at such time in the future when the agency's infrastructure is available, they would abandon that septic field or the lateral field and connect to the agency's infrastructure at no additional cost to the agency. So this is an accommodation for development of this lot at this particular point in time, and we feel it is an appropriate request. Happy to answer any questions.
You foresee any situation where we need to go into the easement and not put infrastructure, so then we damage the lateral?
I don't, not at this. The easements that we have are very specific to the agency's infrastructure and utilities, so no other utilities can occupy those.
Yep.
And I don't, other than maybe soil borings, if and when we're ready to put in infrastructure, but we'll have locates done and make sure that it's out of the way of our work. So,
Thanks.
yes, sir. Happy to answer any other questions.
No questions? Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Gretna, second by LaVista. Any further concerns or questions? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, our next meeting is Thursday, I'm sorry, it's Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. All the agenda items have been addressed as published, and the Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency Board is adjourned.